Good morning and welcome to Write with Rachel. I'm Rachel and I'll be your guide today. Today we're going to be working with our prompt called Spin the Wheel. Today we will be choosing a prompt, then I will be improvising for story ideas, writing a micro story in 10 minutes or less. I encourage you to watch my messy handwriting fill the screen or join in on the fun and write your own story. Hi, I'm Rachel. I've been writing, reading, journaling, and teaching for over 50 years. Let's get started by spinning the wheel. So on our wheel today, I put items that reminded me of a circle. So today's circle object I picked was cookies. So let's take a spin of the wheel and choose a cookie for our first item. And our first word for the day is going to be the sugar cookie. Now we're also going to choose for our second word today the visual sight word, and we're going to use a color. So whatever color is pointing towards me will be our second word. And that was not a great spin. Let's do another one. So we have sugar and yellow, sugar and yellow. So let's start by filling in our grid. For the word, we have sugar or sugar cookie. You can interpret that prompt however you would like. And for the sense or sight, we have the color yellow. So let's start developing some story ideas based on these words. Let's say we have a character, and let's say that her name is Amelia. So Amelia is baking sugar cookies and whipping up a creamy yellow frosting when her smoke detector goes off. She frowns. Nothing is burning. When she goes to investigate, dot, dot, dot. We could also take the story in another direction. Let's say we have Barnaby. Barnaby is out running errands when a woman dressed like a Girl Scout but wearing a yellow beret offers him sugar cookie. You can trust me, she says. So he takes it politely, but later he tosses it in the garbage can. Dot, dot, dot. A third option, we could have Celia. Celia is planning a birthday party. She has been told that the children can't have any sugar or they'll go crazy. So she's created a sugar free cookie with yellow frosting that she hopes they'll love when they take the first bite. Dot dot dot. And let's go one more direction for the story. So let's say we have our friend David. And David is out walking in the woods. His doctor told him he needed to start exercising more, but the walks just make him crave sugar even more. He comes to a clearing and he can't believe it. Everyone seems to be in a sugar cookie baking competition. So there you have 4 different directions you can go. As always, I encourage you to also follow your own direction. Either maybe one of these ideas sparked your attention, or maybe you came up with something completely different. That's all great. I also encourage you to consider the tilt philosophy as you start writing. Remember, with the tilt philosophy, our goal is to finish the story. Sometimes you might have to introduce something. For example, maybe a little bit of magic, maybe something that could never happen. We just want to keep your pen moving until the end. Remember, you can always go back and revise a draft after you've finished one, but you can't finish a draft. You can't revise a draft if you haven't written one. In just a moment, I'm going to start writing my 10-minute story. I'm going to be using the tilt method, which I created after challenging myself to write 50 short stories in 50 days and realizing that I had created a method that worked for me and that I could teach to other people as well. With the tilt method, you can see that I've developed my paper into 4 quadrants. I've split it into 4 segments, and I have each one marked. The first I've marked C for character, W is for what the character wants, T is for the tilt or the challenge, The W is how things wrap up, and down here I have the last word. Now, when you're writing your story, you're going to be using different color markers, and you're also going to be tilting your paper as you write. The purpose for this is to help your brain remember that it's time to switch to the next section and to keep yourself writing. So I'll start writing in this section. As I finish the character section, I'll go to the what the character wants. I'll tilt again. This tilt section is where I'll make sure that I've introduced my obstacle for the character. I'll come to this section where I'm wrapping up the story. And then down here, this will be where I have my last word, an aha moment, something the character has learned, or some sort of surprise for the readers. So that's how the tilt method works. I like to use an hourglass to keep myself on task. I know that I have about 2.5 minutes to work in each section, so that's how I work through my story. If you would like to write with me, I would love to have you do so. If you prefer to write in silence, now would be a good time to mute the volume. If you're watching on replay, it can be fun to watch my messy handwriting fill the screen. And now I'm going to ring my bell, and I'm going to get the story started. So here we go. Starting my story with my character. Her name is Brenda, and she's going to tell us a story about the yellow sugar cookie. One day, I was walking in the library at a book on how to create a magic spell for healing simple headaches. I had a bit of magic in my family, but not enough to do much. For example, I was not able to ride a broom or summon a wizard or anything like that. But I had been learning to do simple spells. On my way, a woman appeared. She was dressed like a Girl Scout, but her outfit was all yellow, and she handed me an unwrapped yellow frosted sugar cookie. Those were usually my favorite kind, but I knew, even as an adult, that accepting food from strangers was your one way ticket to being thrown in the back of a van. I took the cookie And as soon as I was out of her sight, I threw it in the garbage can and quickly headed to the library where I breathed a sigh of relief and found safety in the stacks of books. I opened the first Bill book and flipping the hourglass. And strangely, I smelled a sugar cookie. I glanced at the shelf, and there it was. That lady, she must have followed me here. How many cookies did she have? And why did she want me to eat one so badly? I shuddered, grabbed the cookie, and threw it in the garbage can. I grabbed I grabbed the book and scurried home, trying to avoid her and focused on my new spell. At home, I started the work. The spell was simple in its complexity and went for 2 pages. When I got to the second page, I couldn't believe it. Now it said I needed to eat a yellow frosted sugar cookie to complete the spell. I was sure it didn't say that at the library. I tried to throw it into the garbage, but it jumped up and forced its way into my mouth, choking me, choking me with its sweetness and crumbs. The next day, I forgot all about why I went to the library. I forgot all about the spell. And then on TV, I saw an announcement. The manufacturer of a new migraine medicine had just launched their new product. And their CEO was an elegant woman who seemed familiar. That's the end of my story today. If you're still in a good writing zone, I encourage you to continue. If you enjoyed writing with me today, I hope you'll subscribe to the channel. I hold writing workshops weekly every Monday through Friday. On the weekend, I will continue to produce and share short journaling prompts so you can keep writing with me every day of the week. Thank you for writing with me today. In the description of the video and in the comments, I will share some additional resources and perspectives on today's writing session. I hope you have a great writing weekend, and thank you for joining me today.